Good afternoon. I am Dr. Srithar, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and I am the course coordinator for the subject Cloud Infrastructure and the Services. And the today's session, I am going to take you how you can able to create a S3 website and how you can use it for the static website development with and without Cloudfront. So let me directly go into the practical and demonstration. So for that first step, I want to create a S3 bucket. So what I am doing before the deployment, so what I am going to do is I am going to take all my static website contents ready. So you can go to the template called CSS. You can go to the CSS free templates. Take the first link, and here I am going to take a website called KitDev. So now this time you can download this. Just click on this download, and it is now downloaded. Now it is downloaded. Just to do a extract, just to extract all your files and make this ready. So because I am going to deploy this into your S3. So now go to your AWS management console and take the service called S3. S3 for scalable storage. So where you can keep all the objects, and now so go to the buckets, click on the bucket, and there are some buckets available, and I want to create a new bucket. Click on create new bucket, and by default this region gets selected as US East 1, that is North Virginia region, and you have to keep the bucket name. The bucket name is, so you can keep it as website hosting 990. I am keeping some random numbers, and under the object ownership click on this ACL enable and come down. This blog public access should be removed. Why? Because your website should be accessible to all the persons, that is outside world. So you have to unblock this. So click on this I acknowledge, and after that bucket versioning should be enabled. So that's it. You have to create a new bucket, and the bucket naming should be globally unique. So that is one restriction. So once you have created this, now you can see this objects can be public. If you are not enable this ACL, you may not get this option, but for the static website hosting this is very much important. So now go into the bucket, and I want to keep all my files into the bucket. So I am going into this preschool website template, whatever I have already extracted. So I want to keep all my files. So what I want to do is, first thing, you can directly copy all the things and extract it. Simply you can take all the files. That's it. All the files come into your place, and now you can upload it. And the very important consideration in the static website hosting is that the main file is a index.html file, where all the other files were linked with this .html file. Index.html is a main file, and you can have n number of hyperlinks with that file. So it will take some time to move all your files into your bucket. Let's wait for some time. So this will take some 4 minutes time for the uploading. So because the file sizes were large, so if you want to try with some minimal size file, you can have a try. So almost 50% we have reached. So it will take 1 minute time to upload all the contents in your S3 bucket. So once you have kept all your resources into the S3 bucket, the next step is you want to keep all my objects into public. So similar to how you have given for the bucket, for the objects also you need to make all your resources as public. So otherwise, whenever you are trying to access your buckets outside, it is not accessible. So now uploading is completed. Now you can close it and go to the bucket again. Take the website hosting 990. See, these are all the objects available. So now you can select all the objects and go to actions and make public using ACL. This step is very important. Make it as public. And you make sure that you can see that there is one file called index.html. Actually this index.html is a main file. All other files are linked in this file only. So okay, now go to the properties and come down, and the last option called static website hosting, initially it is disabled. Click on this edit option and enable this, where we have to specify the main file as index.html. And now you can do save changes, and again now see that there is a URL get generated. Click on the URL. So now you can able to see the deployment. Successfully our website is now deployed. We have achieved our first agenda, that is we have created the S3 bucket and hosted the website with the cloud without a Cloudfront. Now I'll tell you how to work with the Cloudfront. So the meaning, what is the use of Cloudfront means, it will give the speed, that is for example, if you are deployed your application in the North Virginia region. Actually for this application I have deployed my application into the North Virginia region. If I am accessing website from here, that is I am in Andhra. So if I try to access the website from Andhra, your request will go till your North Virginia region and the response will get back to you. So if you consider the latency, for this latency is more. If I want to reduce the latency, if the content is very closer to me means I can able to easily access my website. So if I have enable the Cloudfront distribution, what will happen mean, a copy of the website data which is available in all the edge location. So if I try to access from here, my nearest region is Mumbai. So my contents will be directly taken from Mumbai, not from the original source. So that is the reason we go for the Cloudfront distribution. So now you can see that under the permissions, so there is no bucket policy exist. So what I am doing, I am going to create a Cloudfront. So for this you can move into the service called Cloudfront. It's a global content delivery network, and now there is no Cloudfront distribution exist. Click on this create distribution. So I want to choose the origin, which means that where my bucket or source were exist. My source exists in the under the name website hosting 990. Click on that, and rest of the configuration you can leave as such, and come down, and under the original access it is given as a public access. You want to click the option called legacy access identities, where you want to create a new OAI. Click and create a new OAI. So that is origin access identity, and create it. Once it is done, you have to enable the bucket policy. If you are not enable, the bucket policy will not be reflected in your website, that is origin website, and come down, and the rest of the things you can accept the default. And one important thing is that, so this web application firewall, you should not enable this. If you are enable, because we are doing all the application under the free tier limits only, if you keep it as enable, you will get some bills. To avoid that, always remember that you should not enable this WAF, so you do not enable the security protections. So now I would like to show you these settings. So if you, there are three options. By default it is selected with the all edge location. This is for best performance. For example, if you have customers, for example, whatever application you are deploying, who are the customers for that website? So if the website is globally using, mean the first option is recommended, that is your contents will be available in all the edge location. If the customers are belong to only North America and Europe, you can choose this option. Otherwise, if your customers are belong to America, Europe, Asia and Middle East or Africa, you can choose this option. But this, the first one is the recommended option, and because your contents is available in all the edge locations. So it is by default this option gets selected, you can keep as such, and now you can create the distribution. So now if you go into the distribution, so now it is deploying, the status is now deploying. Click on this distribution ID, you can get something called a distribution domain name. Click on this distribution domain name, and you can keep it in your browser. If I press enter, I'm getting the messages site is not reached. But why I am getting the site not reached means, so you have not specified the main file HTML, main HTML file, that is to be followed with /index.html, /index.html, and now enter. So still it is not getting. Why? Because till the distribution is not completed. So wait for some time, or otherwise you just do a refresh here. So still it is deploying. You keep on trying this, you will get that, you will get the deployment under the Cloudfront. We will try to reload the page. Still the deployment is not completed. It will take some 2 or 3 minutes for the deployment. Once I am taking the distribution, / followed by index.html and enter. So we have to wait for some time. So because, so now the status should move to active state. After that you can try. Yes, now successfully our application is deployed, and now you can see that URL, there is a changes in the URL. The name appended is with the cloudfront.net /index.html. So that's it, we have successfully deployed our application. Now go into your S3 bucket. Previously I already said that there is no bucket policy exist. Now refresh this page and go to the permissions and again go to the bucket policy. Now you can see that, so there is a bucket policy is updated with the Cloudfront origin, that is origin access identity. So that's it, we have achieved our agenda. So that is, we have created a new bucket and we have deployed a static website with Cloudfront and without Cloudfront. Thank you.